everybody, Edo here, and the good folks at Stronghold Games have sent along a copy of Islands in the Mist. And Islands in the Mist is sort of maybe a little bit part kingdom builder, because you got hexes and you're trying to score points on your board based on connected pieces, mixed with like sort of air balloon travel, like so you're traveling to place your hexes, which I'll talk about, and even a little Zooloretto in terms of tile selection. So it's got an interesting little different vibes going for it. But you are a balloon pilot, balloon ship rider, whatever, and you are going to be exploring and discovering all these regions on this map. And everyone has their own map and their own little top piece here. And their own balloon, which is a cute, nice little meeple, and a little arrow here that's used to set the direction of the wind. And so what's going to happen in this game, it plays pretty quickly. It's got some simultaneous play. I'll talk about the rules at the end. There's some oddities to it, but it's got simultaneous play. But essentially, at the start of the turn, you're going to get tiles laid out onto these clouds. If a cloud, there's 3 slots per cloud. If they get filled, it gets emptied and it starts over. You use clouds based on the number of players. Once the clouds are out, they're always out, but more tiles are added. You roll the die. There's again, I'll get to the rules, but there's some nuances around who rolls the die and who's the starting player. The die roller isn't the starting player. The starting player has a certain energy, whatever. Somebody's going to roll the dice. And basically, one thing is going to set the direction of the wind, and the other is going to be some sort of bonus, like extra energy, or you can go both directions, or you can sort of go not diagonally, but like in more angles on your ship. And then the roller can re-roll each die once, and then once that's all set and settled, everyone's going to have to use that. Movement is pretty restricted in that you based on where you are, it's going to say how much energy you have to move. And if you want to move less than that or change your direction, it costs different amounts of energy. So basically, go with the wind is pretty easy. Fight the wind and try to go in other directions is harder unless you have the bonus die. But you're basically going to be dealing with energy costs and restricted movement around with the balloon. It's a little bit hard to wrap your head around just because different directions cost different amounts and there's different penalties but it's pretty clear in the rules, and once you're used to it, you get used to that cost. You have this energy meter at the top, which is going to be oscillating a lot, and I do like that energy management's a real thing in this. You're not always able to do everything you want, and it feels good in that regard. You feel like you're flying an air balloon, but you're going to get to your spot, and then you're going to pick your cloud. And again, your cloud could have 3 things in it. It could have 1. And you take your hex and you're going to lay your hex onto your magnifying glass area. So what's sort of cool here is this can fill up. You have a limited amount of spaces, so but you can either take a hex to place or you can turn it into energy. But once so when you get it, you can instantly just get the value of the tile in energy. So you can just convert it to energy, or you can essentially save it here. But if you run out of room, you can't place a tile here. So you sort of have a little bit of management. There's a lot of slots, but you do towards the end of the game, you deal with this a little bit. But in essence, what's happening here is you have these tiles, and then when you're at a spot and you're looking around you, you basically get to reveal the area below you, and you get to choose what goes there. So it's a little convoluted because you're looking into the clouds, and you're like, well, at this spot is desert, but it works. I think thematically it's odd because anyway, but it works. You get to select where you're going to put the tile. So again, Kingdom Builder is a hex board where you're just playing a single out hex and getting points. In this one, there's this movement control area to a region, and then you're placing the hexes. Once the hexes are down, what you're looking to do is the game ends when all of the coastal areas are connected, not all to the center, but in some line of things connected to the center. When one player does that, they get some bonus points and the game's over at the end of that round. But otherwise, you get points for bringing a color to the center, and you get points for each tile. You get points for long contiguous tiles. Some spots give you energy when you take over it. The volcano is negative points unless you cover it. There are cities that give monuments that are for the amount of monuments you have. If you're the monument leader, cities are for different types of terrains around it. So pretty standard hex set collection scoring stuff. The real thing is that you have to get to where you want to place it, and you need to have it there when you get there, and you don't want to run out of space, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end of the game, point salad, add it all up, see who wins. the player interactions on which tile you're going to take and how you're going to manipulate the map. Now, let's talk about the rules and let's talk about the mods. So, the rules are okay. I didn't love them. Couple things that happens. The game comes with mods like a Kickstarter game, which I don't mind, and I didn't play them, but like, you add it in, you flip the board over, they have extra pieces, and it extends the gameplay, so that's cool. But it's not really sorted out differently, so it's sort of all in the box, and you have to sit there and figure out what's what. I don't like it. This is this really pretty way where they've like exploded the components, but now they're not like the correct sizes, and it's telling you which is a mod component and a real component, and like it just took me more of the time than I would have liked to like be like, are we playing with the right things? Once I got past all that, it was a pretty straightforward rules, but like there are just some things that are like fiddly around how the pricing of the balloon and fiddly around like starting player. And again, nothing that's terrible, but it results in a lot of like rules and clarification rules and reminder rules. Like all these places where if it was intuitive and what players would expect, you wouldn't have to tell them once and then in 3 other places remind them the rule. But whatever, the scoring works. I like this game. I wasn't sure at first, but once it got moving, I did find that I liked it as a plus. That Zul'Aretto selection vibe of the components in the middle of the clouds with the tiles, placing them, scoring it, and dealing with the restrictions of play. It felt good, and it worked, and it works with different player counts really well. Again, I didn't play the mods. So it maybe has a little bit of a learning curve, and the thematic is a little odd, but I don't know. I like changing winds and the balloons, and I absolutely enjoyed playing this game. So this is Islands in the Mist. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.